I think I'm pretty safe in saying I will never get to meet the prophet Joseph Smith in this life. But in many respects, I feel, and I hope this isn't arrogant to say, but I feel as though I know him and would recognize him if the opportunity ever came. And that, in large measure, thanks to diary accounts and witnesses who knew him, such as the one that I'm about to share with you, a very tender and, to me, instructive account out of the diary of Curtis Bolton. Curtis received word that John Leach, a missionary for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, had come into the area of Little Falls, New Jersey, and was going to preach. Curtis, being much prejudiced, he said, against the Latter-day Saints, went to meeting to oppose Elder Leach and drive him from the place, end of quote. But instead of running the missionary out of town, Curtis listened and was soon convinced of the truthfulness of the restoration. He then records, quote, "I and my wife, Rebecca, were shortly after baptized." Well, in April of 1844, Curtis E. Bolton traveled up the Mississippi River to Nauvoo, leaving his family behind in New Jersey. While there, Curtis lived with or by, I couldn't tell quite from the accounts, lived with the prophet Joseph about 5 weeks and became very well acquainted with the man. Curtis records the following, quote, "Received an ordination as a high priest under the hands of Hiram Smith, as also a patriarchal blessing." Listen to this. "He ordained me on the 16th of May, 1844, in the street near the fence north of Joseph Smith's first residence in Nauvoo." So right on that corner, just to the north, probably by the cemetery there, Curtis Bolton was ordained and received his patriarchal blessing right there in the open street. He then says, "I received a certificate from Willard Richards, who lived at this time, lived in the aforementioned house," meaning the homestead. And then Curtis said, "A few minutes after my ordination, I went on board the steamboat Maid of Iowa on my return home." And then here it is. Curtis said, "The last I saw of Joseph Smith, he was standing with his youngest boy in his arms at the brow of the hill on the west side of the Nauvoo house in the middle of the street. No one was near him." Curtis adds, "He was the most beautifully formed man and was laughing pleasantly to the brethren on board the steamboat who were leaving to go preaching." And then Curtis concluded, "I never in this life shall look upon his like again."